What is the cause of poor posture? Poor posture means you're not holding your body in a healthy position. Another word of saying healthy position means not holding your body in a neutral position. When your body is in a non-neutral, asymmetrical position, it means that you're introducing uneven forces to the body. And this can be not only from the front, but it can also be from the side. And the spine is particularly vulnerable to seeing the effects of poor posture. And there are many different causes of poor posture, including muscle weakness, lifestyle factors, prior injuries, and even structural spinal conditions. Now, when we look at weak or tight muscles and how they can lead to poor posture, we know weak abdominals, weak shoulders, weak back muscles can be the most disruptive to posture. And when the spine facilitates good posture, it allows us to stand up straight and tall and well aligned. If the spine is not as supported by these strong muscles, typically something that we call deconditioning, it can lead to the spine developing unhealthy curvatures and disrupt body symmetry. And this can lead to something that we call a negative or a bad postural alignment. But this is normally something that's muscularly induced. Now, if it sits this way for many years and over a period of time, this muscular induced problem can be something called more structural. And as problems become more structural, they can be more difficult to correct. And you're going to see that to be in common with almost any one of these causes of poor posture. When we look at what type of lifestyle factors that can affect poor posture, the biggest thing we have to consider is carrying extra weight on your body, because carrying extra weight can lead to strain into the joints and can contribute to poor posture, because as you carry extra weight, your body has to compensate for that weight and try to balance it by moving your body around to create the most efficient postural position. So therefore, your body automatically will create poor posture to help redistribute your weight evenly among your joints. Now, the issue is that this can lead to asymmetrical pressure over time, and this also can lead to more structural effects if it stays this way for a significant period of time. Also, poor diet can contribute to poor bone health and poor muscle health, which can help compound the problem. We also know prior injuries or repetitive injuries can affect posture. Prior injuries can disrupt the posture of one's body because the body is going to compensate for that injury. If you have some type of injury within your thoracic spine or your lumbar spine or your cervical spine, the body can shift. And even though these injuries may seem minor, meaning there's some kind of sports injury, you didn't fracture anything or you didn't break anything, or maybe in a minor car accident, it can cause the parts of the spine to shift out of its alignment. And this can alter your posture slightly at this time. However, as the spine shifts and this mechanism stays uncorrected, what ends up happening is now the posture shifts further and further and further, compensating. And now we have this structural problem that now must be addressed, because now it's become more than just standing different. Also, repetitive injuries, like not sitting properly for long periods of time, carrying bags improperly for a long period of time, backpacks, asymmetrical backpacks for a long period of time, using cell phones and technology in a bad position, repetitive over and over and over again, can lead to your body adapting to that position. And initially, it could just be very simply that you can move your body into a corrected position. But as you do it more and more, and as it sits there longer and longer, these repetitive postural problems can become structural. And once things become structural, it literally becomes much more complicated to deal with. And the last thing we'd like to talk about is true structural conditions like scoliosis or kyphosis. Now, scoliosis can cause the spine to bend and twist, unnaturally exposing the body to a tremendous amount of uneven forces. And the hallmark presentation of scoliosis is abnormal posture, but this posture deviation starts off as a structural problem, unlike the other ones that can become structural over time. And this postural deviation can lead to things like shoulders becoming unbalanced, rib cage becoming unbalanced, hips becoming unbalanced, and you can see this significant postural misalignment start occurring. And as the curve becomes bigger and the curve becomes more significant, it can lead to increased postural disturbances. And what's different with scoliosis is, since it's structural from the very beginning, they can't really straighten out if they try. So it's not like it's occurring because the patient is doing something. It's normally happening from unknown reasons, because the majority of scoliosis cases are idiopathic in nature. Now, is bad posture, an easy thing to correct? Well, unfortunately, it can be very complicated. And addressing poor posture really means addressing the underlying cause. And not knowing the cause is by far the first thing that goes wrong. Is most patients don't really understand what's causing it. They think they can just stand straighter, and only they can't do it because if these cases have become structural, there's more than just lifestyle factors that have to be changed. It really needs to be addressing what's causing the problem. If it's a past injury, we have to deal with how the body compensated and have to try to address that past injury. It's just muscle weakness. We need to focus on muscle strengthening and reconditioning the part of the bodies that become deconditioned. If it has to do with structural spinal curvatures like scoliosis or kyphosis, then we must address those things. So it can be very complicated in just trying to improve somebody's posture. It's not as simple as just stand straight. It may be much more complicated than that. So any type of abnormal posture should be taken seriously, especially early on in life when spines are growing and developing, and in young adults, as they can make a significant impact on the health of their spine for their future life. Also in older patients, as spines start to change and posture starts to change, it shouldn't just be said, okay, you're getting old and be left alone, because as those things continue to worsen, they become harder and harder to improve, and it can be associated with more significant conditions. Bad posture, which is related to bad spinal positions, can be associated with lots of other issues like overall spinal health, body health, well-being, the ability to get up and walk and move, and can really affect the quality of life. So healthy posture is important for a healthy spine and a healthy body and a healthy life. So therefore, keeping your spine in this proper alignment by constantly addressing your posture and looking at it and addressing any abnormal postural misalignments early is really important in maintaining a healthy life and well-being. But the first thing you must do to correct these things is to determine the cause and address that. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions about this topic or other scoliosis questions, type in the comments below and let us know. And finally, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of when we publish new videos just like this.